And welcome back to the Super Drive Time on Rhythm 95.5. Time is now 5 minutes past 3. And now I know we're a little behind schedule. However, we are here. So officially, welcome to Let's Talk Money right here on Rhythm 95.5. I am your host, Steva J. And I am excited to have my very, very good friend, our financial expert, Naomi Jean, joining us in the studio today. So Naomi is the owner of Naomi's Numbers and Persistent Accounting, and she's here to help us navigate the world of personal finance. Naomi, could you please say hello to our listeners?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
That's all right. So, Naomi, welcome back. Definitely welcome back. So, what do you have in store for us today?
So, today we'll be going through a step-by-step process for creating your own budget, from tracking your income and expense to setting a realistic financial goal and avoiding common pitfalls.
Okay. So, please, by all means, lead us.
Okay, so we're going to start off with the first step, track your income and expense. The first step in creating a budget is knowing exactly how much money you have coming in and where it's going. This includes all sources of income, your salary, your side hustle, any other additional income. Next, you track your expense. Start by listing your fixed expenses like rent, utilities, and loan payments. Then you move to the variable expenses like your groceries, entertainment, and transportation.
Okay.
The key here is honesty. Track every single expense, no matter how small, because it all adds up.
So no lying to yourself and say, I that's just something small. That's not significant. It was just a little $2. Don't do that. We're not doing that.
No,
okay.
We're not doing that. We're adding every cent. So your Apple subscription, $2.99, put it in.
Put it in.
Yes.
Okay.
One.
Okay.
Can be 99 cents. You put it in.
Okay.
So I think probably we should give an example before we go into the next step.
Okay, please.
Okay, so for each section, we'll have some characters in our example.
Okay.
We're going to give it some personality. So we're going to get a little real life situation. So in our characters will be Johnny and Patricia.
Johnny and Patricia. Okay.
Yeah. So Johnny and Patricia, they're a couple. They have 2 kids. Johnny works as a mechanic and earns, let's say, $3,500 monthly, while Patricia runs a small bakery and let's say she's owing $2,000 monthly, right?
Okay.
So when you add the 2 incomes together, it comes to roughly $5,500. So they're going to track the expenses. So the first thing they're going to do is list their fixed expense, their rent, $1,500, Lucilec, $300, loan payment, $400, groceries, $600, childcare, $500. Then they're going to look at the variable expenses like dining out, entertainment, or transport. So they dine out $200, entertainment $100, transport $300. At the end of the month, this couple will realize they're spending a total of $3,900 on fixed and variable expenses, leaving them with $1,600.
Okay.
So they can play with.
So they can play with the 1/6.
Right.
Okay. Right.
Yes. So now we're going on to the next step, which is categorize your spending.
Okay, so quick question before you go into that. Why is it important, or why should we categorize our spending?
That way, it will guide you on where to cut on your budget if you're over.
Okay.
Because you need to know which one is your fixed expenses and which one is variable expenses.
Okay, so when you say variable expenses, do you mean, could you explain variable expenses?
So these are not common expenses. For example, dine out. You may not dine out every month.
Right.
That might be once in a while.
Okay.
Entertainment, you're not going to jazz every month.
Right.
That's probably once for the year or so.
Yeah.
Right. The transportation also varies, because if you're going to hop a ride or going to walk to work or school or whatever, these vary.
Okay, so these fall under variable expenses.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we're going into the second step, because now we categorize. We have said which one is our fixed expense. We've done the variable expenses. Now we're going to categorize the spending.
Okay.
Once you've tracked your income and expenses, it's time to categorize your spending.
Okay.
Break your expenses down into categories like housing, food, transportation, and savings.
Okay.
And entertainment too. I think you should put a special aside
Okay.
for that.
So we're not neglecting the entertainment.
No.
Okay.
Because we're human beings. We need to socialize. We need to relax. We need to have fun.
Correct.
Yes. This gives you a clear picture of where your money is going and helps you see if you're overspending in any area. So you can use budgeting apps or simple spreadsheet to do this, whichever one works best for you. So for persons that wants a simple spreadsheet and they don't have one, they can go onto the Naomi's Numbers website, which is shop.naomisnumbers.co, and they would be able to purchase a budget sheet there.
Okay.
That budget sheet would guide them to categorize and track their budget.
Okay. Great stuff. Mm-hmm.
So we continue again with Johnny and Patricia. Let's see how they're going to categorize this section now.
Oh, Johnny and Patricia, we're talking about you right now. Let's go. Okay.
Not real Johnny and Patricia. Right? So the housing is 1,500. The utilities 300.
Right.
The food, which is groceries and dine out, is 800.
Okay. Okay.
Then transportation 300, childcare 500, entertainment 100. So by categorizing the expense, they realize they're spending quite a bit on dining out and entertainment.
It seems like Johnny and Patricia having a good time every day, every month. Hello.
That's right. So now they decide they could reduce those amounts to free up more money for saving.
Okay. All right.
Because if you realize, we call these categories out, and to me, I didn't say savings. We didn't say savings.
Oh, you know that completely, that I did not notice that.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah. So since they realize that now they need to set realistic financial goals, which is the first step that we need to do when putting together a budget. Now that you know where your money is going, it's time to set goals. Your goals could be short-term, like building an emergency fund, or long-term, like saving for a down payment on a home. The key is to be realistic. Don't aim to save half your salary if that's not achievable for you. Right.
Been there. Definitely been there.
Start small.
Right.
Start small. Build habits and gradually increase your goals over time.
Okay.
So, for example, Johnny and Patricia wants to save for 2 goals. Building a home.
Right.
Building the emergency fund.
Emergency fund.
Right.
Okay.
5,000. And they want to take the kids on a holiday, which is 2,000. So the emergency fund and a holiday.
Okay.
What should they do? So they decide to save 400 each month. 300 will go into the emergency fund, and 100 for the vacation. So you realize, because they note where they at.
Yes.
They didn't go and plan a vacation to go to Africa.
Right.
They planned a vacation, let's say, to go to Martinique.
Right.
$2,000.
Okay.
And
okay.
then the emergency fund at 5,000. They went where they are comfortable.
Right.
So at that rate, they're reaching their emergency fund goal in just over, like, let's say, a year, and be able to take their holiday in about 20 months. So yes, the holiday will not come one time.
Right.
But think of it, 100 every month. By 20 months, we can take that $2,000 vacation.
So they're basically operating within their means.
That's correct.
Okay.
Right. So setting achievable goals like this helps them stay motivated while also managing their day-to-day expenses. And that's what we want to do.
Okay. All right. So what are some of those, when it comes to saving or when it comes to budgeting, there are definitely some budgeting mistakes that people usually make. What are some of those that we should avoid?
Okay, so some of them you want to avoid. Don't forget to account for irregular expenses.
Ooh, what are irregular expenses?
Your variable expenses, those that are not common. Those one-off costs, like, let's say, car repair. You don't repair your car every month.
No, you don't.
So you don't want to neglect that. You still need to incorporate it in your budget somewhere.
Okay.
Annual subscriptions, if you subscribe to any software,
the Disney
OneDrive,
Plus, the Netflix,
all of these.
Oh, everything. Okay. So,
You don't want to forget these. You need to add it in.
Okay.
The second one we want to look at is avoid being too restrictive. Right. So a budget isn't about depriving yourself,
Okay.
but rather making sure you live within your means while still enjoying life.
Okay. Okay.
So I want to go to the spa. I cannot do a full body massage, but I can do a pedicure. So
okay.
I'll opt for the pedicure because this is what my budget.
That is what is
Right.
within your budget. Okay,
Right.
okay. And how do you keep your budget up to date?
So don't set. So listen. Don't set it and forget it.
Oh.
Don't set the budget and forget it.
I know some people who are guilty. I'm not. There's no mirrors. I'm not talking to myself.
Right.
You know?
Yes. A budget is a living document. Put it so. It should be walking with you everywhere if it can.
Right.
Review it regularly and adjust as your financial situation changes.
Okay.
Because then if your salary increase, you want to adjust. If your salary decrease, you also need to adjust.
You need to adjust. Okay, so it's
yes.
something you do consistently and you keep at it.
That's right.
Okay. And
Yes.
so is that everything you have for us today?
So yes, these are the 3 steps I have for you today. So just let me review it so they don't
Right.
forget. So the first step, we would like to track your income and expense. The second step, categorize your spending. And then the third step, set realistic financial goals. So if you can't do colored polish, then take the clay polish.
Take it. Okay, great
Yes.
stuff. All right. So, Naomi, thank you so much for breaking it down for us. And I'm sure our listeners will find this information definitely helpful. Now,
right.
just to ensure that I have learned it today. Okay, so the teacher is in studio, okay? So, okay, track your money, right?
Yes, right,
Number
right.
2, categorize your spending.
That's correct.
And number 3, set realistic goals.
That's correct.
I have it.
That's
yes,
right.
yes, that's
you
right.
have it. You're right there.
That's right. When you are logged into Rhythm 95.5, Let's Talk Money, you're definitely going to learn. So, Naomi, thank you so much for being
You're
here with
welcome.
us. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And guys, we're doing this every Wednesday from 2:30.
That's right. So don't forget to tune in.
That's right. All right. So, guys, the time is now 17 minutes past 3, and we're going right into our super hits for this afternoon. Coming right up, we have Cassie, Me and You.